Good day, family, and all praise to only the Almighty, Most High Creator, Aya, Creator of Abram, Isaac, and Jacob. We won't be ravaging the women of the other nations on our way out of these heathen nations. That goes against our laws. Race mixing goes against what the Almighty Aya tells us with Scripture. Recently, I've seen videos of people saying that we Negro males are going to be ravaging/raping the women of the other nations on our way out. I'm going to use the same scripture they use to show everyone who is going to be doing the ravaging. I'm also going to show exactly what we're going to do during our exit, and nowhere does it say to take wives or ravage women. This is the scripture people base the ravaging on. Isaiah 13, 9-18. And I read, Behold, the day of the Almighty Aya cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place, in the wrath of Aya of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. And it shall be as the chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land. Every one that is found shall be thrust through, and every one that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. The definition for ravish is rape. This is where everyone stops reading and they start telling of the ways they will ravage the women of the other nations. These teachers need to keep reading. They will then see who will be doing the ravaging and see that it isn't we Negroes. Let's keep reading. 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eye shall not spare children. I will stir up the Medes against them. The Medes are going to dash the young men to pieces. The Medes are going to ravage the women, not the Negro remnant. This scripture only justifies that the Medes are going to ravage the women of the other nations. Here's what the remnant children of the Almighty will be doing on our way out of here. Notice it never mentions take wives or ravage women. Jeremiah 51, 20-22, and I read, Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war, for with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. This reads, we will be killing. 21. And with thee will I break in pieces the horse and his rider, and with thee will I break in pieces the chariot and his rider. This also reads, we will be killing. With thee also will I break in pieces man and woman, and with thee will I break in pieces old and young, and with thee will I break in pieces the young man and the maid. This reads that we will be killing the old, young, man, and woman. Jeremiah 51 never says to take captives for wives. It doesn't tell us to ravage any women. The only thing Jeremiah 51 says we'll do is kill. Killing and taking a wife are two totally different things that can't be combined. You aren't going to lay with her sexually, marriage, then kill her. The Almighty Ayah tells us not to take wives from the other nations. That's part of the reason we went through our 400 years, getting some strange. Remember this? Numbers 25, 6-8, and I read, "And behold, one of the children of Israel came and brought into his brethren a Midianitish woman in the sight of Moses, and in the sight of all the congregation of the children of Israel, who were weeping before the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And when Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, saw it, he rose up from among the congregation and took a javelin in his hand. And he went after the man of Israel into the tent, and thrust both of them through, the man of Israel and the woman through her belly. So the plague was stayed away from the children of Israel." We aren't supposed to be mixing seed with the other nations. Back in the day, that got you and the woman from the other nations killed. Back in the day, a Negro going out and getting some strange from the other nations could bring on a plague. Let's see what the Almighty Ayah says about his children having sex or getting married to the peoples of the different nations. Deuteronomy 7, 3, and 4, and I read, "Neither shall ye contract marriages with them. Thou shalt not give thy daughter to his son, and thou shalt not take his daughter to thy son. For he will draw away thy son from me, and he will serve other gods. And Ayah will be very angry with you, and will soon utterly destroy thee. So be it." Leviticus 21:13, and I read, he shall take for a wife a virgin of his own tribe. So be it. Ezra 9:14, and I read, "Shall we again break your commandments and intermarry with the peoples who commit these abominations? Would you not be angry with us to the point of destruction, until there is no remnant, nor any who escape?" So be it. We marry within our own peoples. Anything else is willful sin. If we are to take wives, they will be our Negro queens. Sexually violating women of the other nations doesn't fit the biblical definition of taking a wife, or the definition of marriage. It does fit being a barbarian, though. The Almighty Ayah shows us with numerous scripture that we Negro males are not to marry, lay down with, hump, or even think of humping on any woman that isn't a Negro queen. Those Negroes that teach how they are going to hump their way out of the heathen nations are going against the Most High. The Most High tells us to keep it within our own peoples. Negro seed goes to our Negro queens and no one else. Thus saith the Most High Ayah. If you are a Negro male and you have sex with anyone that isn't a Negro female, you are committing sin, and vice versa. Let's not forget that the Almighty Ayah sees and judges your thoughts. That means, Negro male, that if you are imagining partaking in sexual escapades with non-Negro women, then you are sinning. If you're going to think it out, you might as well do it. Let me show you an old curse that still applies when we leave out of these nations, or leave out of the heathen nations. Jeremiah 48:10, and I read, "Cursed is the man that does the works of Ayah carelessly, keeping back his sword from blood. So be it. If a Negro male is ravishing the women of the different nations, which everyone now knows is a sin, he is keeping his sword back from blood. Hence, he's cursing himself twice. We are a righteous people. We aren't barbarians. We aren't the Sabians, and we aren't the Medes. We are the righteous children of the Almighty Aya. We are his sword for retribution, not his tool to be used as a sexual torture device for the unrighteous women. If you're still planning on taking a wife, which is marriage, which is having sexual intercourse, at least now you know that anything other than our Negro queens is a sin. If we continue to read Jeremiah 51, one thing we don't see is the Almighty telling us to take wives. Why are you going to take wives on your way out when the Almighty Aya never told you to take wives? That's not obedience to his word, and could possibly get you and everyone around you that agree with your actions killed. Remember, it only took one Negro getting some strange to bring on a plague. We are a royal, righteous peoples, not barbarians like the heathens. In our past, there were times when the Almighty Aya told us to take wives. We did lock them up in our houses for 30 days for their mourning time, and after that, we did come into them, and the captives had no control of what was happening. That was the past. The future, Jeremiah 51, doesn't say to take wives. It only says we will kill. Sexual intercourse with anyone that isn't your own people is a sin. A piece of strange is not worth your soul. Remember Jerusalem. Remember Jeremiah 48:10. And remember that sexual intercourse between different nations is a sin. All praise to only the Almighty Most High Aya, creator of Abram, Isaac, and Jacob. Have a beautiful day, family. Stay righteous, and I love you.